Thank you for joining us on 1st and 15th, where we meet every 1st and 15th, brought to you by Florida Real Estate Agency, where advocacy matters. Really trusted partner and friend of mine. We've known each other for a long time. We're going to start bringing a podcast to you guys directly for information and education, letting you know what you should look out for, some of the pitfalls. We're going to have tips and tricks of the trade. We're also going to bring on other people, like we're going to have our preferred lender, our title company partner, our inspectors, just to make sure that you as a consumer out there, if you're selling, buying a house, that you're educated on what you should be looking out for and what to do and not to do. So we're going to be bringing you education, because as far as your realtors are concerned out there, for people, they should be your advocate first, your educator, your communicator, and make sure you just don't get taken advantage of by any of the sales tricks and tactics that are out there now in the buyer's market that we're in, because we are in the most severe buyer's market that we've seen probably since 2009 to 2011, somewhere in that period. I think we're seeing 12.9% decrease in pendings, and some of that information we're going to be bringing you just so you know what kind of market it is and what you should be looking for. So a little bit by myself. I've been a realtor now for 13 years. I got licensed in February of 2013, so I'm going on my 14th year. 12 of those years, 11 and a half going on 12 as a broker. I am now the principal broker for Florida Real Estate Agency, and for me, it's all about advocacy and relationships. If your agent isn't there and doing the right thing for you, you're really not going to get the best outcome, right? So we want to make sure you're armed with that information. So when you go to these sales centers, hopefully not without your realtor, you know the ins and outs and what to prepare for, right? I've always said, if someone's prepared for something, then when it comes up, it's not such an event. If nobody's told you or educated you on something, you're just going to be you're going to be taken aback. It's going to be a shock, and it's going to be a whole event. We do preparation before any of your home searching or searching for a lender, just so that you know the proper steps and what we're going to experience or should experience through the transaction, whether you're a buyer or seller. We're also going to be doing things for some agents. We have a bunch of great new exciting programs. We've been working with Bob's Vets of Brandon to try to serve more of our veteran communities. We're getting involved in some of the B&Is in the area, and we're really excited to bring a program for you agents, some of you agents out there who are experienced 3 years or older. We have a wonderful agent program for you that we're going to be unveiling. But this is the introduction to 1st and 15. Sorry I'm getting so long-winded. I'll give you a little bit more about my experience and such as we get into the shows. A little play on the 1st and 15th. I'm a football fan. I'm born and raised in Tampa. Bucks ride or die. So
go Bucks.
Go Bucks. So we're going to be bringing you some information just so you're well aware of the whole transaction, and hopefully we have a good time for you guys. We're going to go ahead and split it up a little bit. Rich, tell us a little bit about yourself, what you've been doing over the last 5 or 6 years.
Well, the last 5 or 6 years, I've mainly been a part-time realtor. I've also been working with real estate investors and attorneys, trying to help people in foreclosure and do different things. We do a lot of probates. We do a lot of, short sales and deed and liens and things like that. One thing I've noticed, I've been doing paralegal for about 15 years now, working in the real estate field. One thing I've noticed is there's a lot of people tend to leave a lot of opportunities on the table. Just too many times I see it all the time. House, you go into foreclosure, you think you're done, you don't have anything you can do. The house sells, and you left a lot of money on the table. So I'm trying to make sure that doesn't happen to anybody else, right? It just happens too much. And people think that, if someone passes away, they get a house, they can't, they don't know what to do. They just, their mom had a mortgage on the house. They're like, oh, I don't know, it's not my house, I don't know what to do. They don't realize that can all be corrected through the legal system, and there's an opportunity to sell that house and get the money you deserve. So I'm trying to help those people out and see what we can do, and hopefully I have, from 15 years of dealing with that, I can help those people out. So,
yeah, definitely. I mean, that is the one part of my real estate career that I've enjoyed the most. I am a person who highly dislikes getting taken advantage of. I don't like those situations where you're like, oh, look at the shiny lights and the stainless steel appliances. Now go ahead and sign here. I'm not really one of those people who like that. I really want the ins and outs. I want a salesman who wants to treat their customer or their buyer like if it was their own mother, their brother, their sister, their cousin. You should really be, like I said, the advocate first for those people. So we bring a myriad of experience just being able to advocate for our customers and clients. A lot of the time, I think the public really doesn't even know what goes on behind the scenes. Especially sometimes if you can get an agent that's been doing it for a long time, they even get complacent and sometimes they won't let the buyers know what's going on. But that's what we do. That's what I love about it, is keeping people safe from being taken advantage of, because you should be given options, right? You should always be given, hey, here's your options, at least A and B, or at ideally A, B, and C, just so that you can make a properly informed decision, because this is one of the largest purchases you're going to have in your life, is going to be owning a home or a condo. Especially now, condos are doing horrible, but you should be informed as a consumer to make that best informed decision, right? And we provide you with the tools. We have a wealth of resources when it comes to services and tips and tricks. We try to, throughout your home shopping process and everything, give you the little tips and tricks of how to be a homeowner, because it's not easy being a homeowner.
It's not.
It's not at all. There's always an expense popping up. You always have some $500 to $1,000 today is not an unreasonable price for you to be able to repair something in your home, especially if you're hands off. If you're hands on, you're saving yourself a tons of money. The other day, I got quoted for $375 for a wax ring on a toilet by a plumber that I did myself for $32 at Home Depot and about 30 minutes of my time. So,
That's funny. I just last week, my dryer broke, and it was out of warranty. So I'm like, well, let's get on YouTube. And it ended up being a $6 fuse that you just had to replace. And it took about an hour to do. So saved maybe $1,000.
Absolutely. So just another example of when you have somebody on your side that does have that network. We've closed over 300 transactions, in my career. We've had tons of families. Something I'm very proud of, we do all word of mouth. I've done zero marketing and advertising about my services. The only thing we market is our listings over here. I don't do any advertisement. I don't use any lead services. As a matter of fact, to be honest with you, when it comes to the word lead, I'm very hesitant. I don't want to be led on. I want referrals, recommendations. I want, some
people who are ready to do something.
Oh, absolutely. And not only that, I like to get people even before they're really ready to do something. If you're just thinking about buying a home, the best thing you can do is reach out to a realtor and ask them, hey, listen, before I even start anything, what's my first step? Your first step should be to talk to a realtor, because they have the network. They are the resource for buyers and listings. There's a saying in real estate, the listings are king. It's because it's out there, you have the listing, and the buyers are there. Now, stats show that the buyer agent is normally the one who procures the buyer on listings. Kind of fluctuates 88 to 92% of the time where the buyer agent actually brings the buyer. Some people do reach out directly to the listing agent, but you really should be careful with that, because you really want to have your own person being your advocate. Again, we'll be bringing you little tidbits in reference to relationships and single agent versus transaction broker, and some of those details that you should be asking your agent, and really know what the commonplace is when you just up and start talking to somebody about real estate. Going to bring you some tips about when you go to the home sales centers for the new construction homes, about when you sign that contract, those sales agents, there's a disclosure in there that they don't represent you in any way, and they work for the builder. So you really need to have someone in your corner. A lot of the builders now, they're giving huge incentives. They're taking swaths of money off of the list price and the ask price.
It's a lot different than it was during COVID. You go into one of those new homes, they're like, we're not really offering you anything. So now they're they want you to come look at their houses. They're offering a lot of stuff. So it's definitely.
Yeah. The incentives are insane. A lot of them are paying all your closing costs. Yesterday at my homes, I had 4.269, and not even using their lender. They're just offering that. You don't even have to use their lender, but I haven't seen anything that's even going to be close to that. No. MI Homes, one of our favorite builders. Shout out to MI Homes, David Weekly, Mattamy Homes. We've had the most success with those three builders overall. And we love you guys for always appreciating your realtors and taking care of us. But you are seeing huge incentives with the builder, which once again speaks on the buyer's market that we're in. So be careful out there when you choose your lender. They should always be giving you at least two options. I've always said it for a long time, whether you pay now or pay later, you're going to pay, right? So if you have the funds up front, there are some things you can do, like buying down the rate versus just paying an extra $30,000 towards the balance or putting more in your down payment. It's going to be more advantageous for you. So little hints and things like that that can save you hundreds of dollars a month, in your mortgage, which can be the world of difference nowadays. Be careful with those adjustable rate mortgages out there. They're really low in the beginning. The real estate markets has swung up and down 7 years on average. Sometimes it's 6, sometimes it's 9, but you'll ride that high peak wave, and then you'll get in that gully just like we're in now, where the buyer pool just isn't strong. Interest rates are up, taxes are up, HOA fees are up, services are up, and these are some of the things that you don't really realize if you may be renting now when you become a homeowner. These are the things we prepare you for. A lot of people don't know. So be careful with those arms. As a matter of fact, Richard, I think you had an experience with an arm that got someone in kind of a bind, yeah?
Yeah, we've seen. I've had someone where it was actually kind of a weird situation where we found out later at the closing table that it ended up being an arm. But luckily it was a 7-year arm, so they had time to hopefully figure things out. You gotta be careful sometimes. Lenders might tell you something like, oh, rates are going down. You don't really know if rates are going down. I mean, we can anticipate and, prospect that rates are gonna go down, but you want to really think it through before you take one of those arms, because a difference of a point or half a point could be hundreds of dollars a month. And especially if you got taxes going up, insurance going up, the payment that you went into the house thinking you're going to have now all of a sudden isn't what you were thinking, a few years later. So just definitely want to be careful with those.
Yeah, like he mentioned, rates go up and down. There's average rates. Normally, the average rates you see are from the bigger, big box banks. I prefer credit unions and mortgage brokers. Gives you a little more leeway. They are normally the ones that give you more of an option of A, B, and C. Cost may be a little more in the beginning, and your payments a little lower, or vice versa. That's why I say, pay now or pay later, but it's sometime you're going to pay as a homeowner. It's just what it is, right? Responsibilities, maintenance, things of that nature. So that's what we wanted to kind of bring you today, introducing you to ourselves. We're going to be doing, like I said, we're going to be on Wednesdays and Thursday mornings. Next week, we're going to be with Bob's Vets of Brandon. They're a wonderful group. We've been going there a couple times and very hospitable, taking care of our veterans. Just want to give a little shout out. We're gonna let you know of a few listings that we have in the area. We have 18071 Fenders Way in Land O'Lakes. It's a wonderful 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 2,470 square foot home. It's a Pulte driftwood model. It was built in 2020. This one we have listed for $524. Just did a recent price decrease, so that one's available. We're going to be holding an open house on that one, not this Saturday, but next Saturday. So if you guys are interested, we'll leave some links and things on the bottom that you can go ahead and check those out. We also have 10107 or 10107 North 14th Street in Tampa, Florida. This one is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath at 1,510 square feet, built in 2005 for $419. It's got a wonderful double lot. It's got a detached 2-car garage. So if you're looking for something that you need an ADU to be built in Tampa, we got the perfect spot for you. And then in Wesley Chapel, we have 6942 Orvicti Court. This is a wonderful single-story home. Almost everything in the house is brand new. Come and get it inspected. Give us an offer on it, because that one's a wonderful property that fits most of the criteria you're looking for, except for the 3-car garage. It's a 4.2, 2,014 square feet, brand new roof, brand new water heater. Everything in there is beautiful and immaculate. No carpets anywhere to be found. That one's going for $394,900. So that's a little bit on the listings we have there. And then lastly, what we want to do is we want to tell you about our agent program. We are looking for agents that are experienced, 3 years at minimum, that are independent. You use your own lead source. You already have your own community. You have your own network. You use your own CRM. You don't need a brokerage. You don't need the training. We're at $99 a month, and that's it. There's no other fees. There's no other brokerage charges. You cover your own E&O, which you should anyway. It doesn't matter who you're with. Rich can tell you when the lawyers come out, normally the lawyers are the only ones that make the money. So get your own E&O policy. I don't care who you're with and who says they're going to cover it for the benefit of yourself. You should really do that. And that's what we're bringing to you. So, no cap, no fees, no pitch, no recruiting that you have to do. We just want to make sure that you flourish as an agent. We take care of all of the, closing and getting you your check at the day of closing and all that for you. But there's minimal that we ask from you. We don't need you to recruit for us. We don't need you to come in to any kind of training or classes. If you want to do those, feel free. There's tons of people are getting back to the informationals and doing the little classes and courses and things of that nature. And if you're a newer agent, you really should be spending more time doing that. Going to the courses, the classes, your 101s at your MLS and in your association. They do a wonderful job of giving you the basic of how to use the system and how to really utilize the MLS really to your advantage, right? It's a great resource. And plus they have partners and they're always willing to help. So there's courses and classes free for a lot of people. When I first started, that's what we did. A lot of the title companies used to invite us, and they would have an attorney one week, and then the next week they would have somebody from the VA to come in and speak. They would have a VA appraiser come in. So we're going to be bringing you on hosts like that, so that you actually get some information of what to look out for, and because we always say you want at least 3 estimates, 3 quotes from everybody, and that's really the way you stay safe,
Information is power, especially in real estate. So,
yeah, especially in real estate, because you never know. Things change, and we built in Bexley in 2017 on a community that was actually, the inception was around 2004, 2005. They started the development and the planning, and the Bexley Ranch was going to sell the property, and so on and so forth. And then, as we know, the economic collapse happened, and all that was put on the back burner. And then around 14, 15, when things started picking back up again after it being a buyer's market up until 2012, 13, at that point, they reenacted everything and started doing the development and making the planning again and pushing forward. And now we're starting to see developments where things change. Like there's going to be Tower Road's going to be extended, the Ridge Road extension. They're building up there at the hospital. So everything's kind of changing in our area. Land O'Lakes is kind of the new hot spot. We've been seeing a lot more activity in Spring Hill.
Spring Hill, Hudson, they're building it everywhere. So there's tearing up roads, they're taking down large swaths of trees and forest everywhere you go. So you can't go five yards without seeing a new development in Hudson right now. So it's definitely growing.
Yeah, and these are communities also that they've been planned for a long time, and you really need to go to those areas. Brooksville, North Zephyr Hills. I mean, Ocala's growing, Danella's growing. It's kind of spreading away from the Bay Area. You're having to go to Ruskin, Waimama to really find these new construction homes because they're doing these large land developments, and those can change in the years, and that can really affect your value and your outcome of your property. So you really should be involved with the development that's going on in some of these areas, because you never know when things are going to change. You think you have a quiet little community, then all of a sudden 9 to 11 years later, there's a big highway going through it, So just be careful with some of that. We really enjoy Bexley. It's been a wonderful community. We're right close to the veterans. I can jump on that thing, get to Tampa International Airport in 25 minutes. We're 9 miles from the prime outlets. We're about 11 miles from the coast, US 19 over there. So we're in a great area. I was, like I said, born and raised in Tampa, but every 3 to 4 years we keep inching up a little bit more north. I think for now we're good, but who knows? The next 3 or 4 years we may end up over there. 52 out by Angeline,
Yep. We're thinking about, we like it a little probably slower than you do. We went from Tampa to Hudson about 7 years ago. And like I said before, it's starting to grow pretty good. So we're thinking about going out to like Citrus or as far north as we can go. We might end up in a different rural state eventually, but no, it's nice out there. You definitely have to deal with less traffic, and the Newport Richey area, you got a downtown Newport Richey area that looks great. You're pretty close to the water, lots of opportunity to do a lot of cool stuff with boats and have a good time. So, and then you're close to the springs down there, and with Akuchi and Wikiwachi and all those places, and so it's nice. It's definitely going north. There's some advantages to it, but it's a long ways to go to the Bucks game though. So,
yeah, it is. It's definitely a little bit of a drive, but thank God for the veterans, Yeah, because we go up there to Rainbow and go out there sometimes. So yeah, the communities, they're growing. We're trying to get information out to you guys, the buyers. I think a lot of people are pushing the same information and things like that. So hopefully we're going to be bringing you some things that are going to help you along your voyage. Hopefully you reach out to us. If you need someone to help you purchase, help sell your home, you let us know. If we can't service that area, we can definitely get somebody who can. Central Florida is where we normally are. I do. I'm out by Hudson, Pasco, Spring Hill, going out to Citrus, all that area. So we're going a little bit further north than you are. Yep. So it definitely help you if you're going in that area. Also, I would say one recommendation though is don't wait till you're ready to do something. Reach out to one of us before you're ready to do it, so that way you're prepared, because there is a lot of stuff like you reach out to your realtor, he gets the process started. You don't want to put yourself in a situation where it's like, hey, I got to be out of this house in 3 months and I'm trying to figure out what to do. Like, just make a relationship with the realtor, whoever it is, so that way you can, you don't even have to be under a contract with us. If we're your realtor, you're like, hey, I'm thinking about moving in 3, 5, 6 months. We can start getting you ready and getting things prepared. So that way, when you're ready to make the move, you got all your ducks in a row and it's time to go. You don't want to put yourself where you're trying to rush through a process of buying a real estate transaction. So just develop a relationship with a realtor, and hopefully it's a good realtor. They'll be your realtor for life, and they'll always be there as an asset for you, regardless if you're actively searching for a house or trying to sell a house. So, yeah, that's right. And, some of us, even years afterwards, I love getting calls from our old people. And, hey, listen, this happened, because I have, out of the 300 and some odd transactions that I've done, the last thing I say to people before we leave the title after the pictures is I look them straight in the eye and say, listen, if you ever need anything in reference to your house, you call me first. And I want you to remember this when something goes wrong, because something will go wrong, because that's how life is with them curveballs, And definitely, just like Rich said, get somebody who's going to be there for you. Advocacy is key, but those relationships are wonderful. Even if, sometimes you may go 2 years, 3 years without talking to somebody, call me first. Let me know what's going on. We've had a couple of people with detrimentally didn't call us first, and had one example, right? Oh, we had a Roto-Rooter come out and try to fix the clogging. Meanwhile, this home was built in 1963, and at that point in time, sewer scopes really weren't a thing. So when they called us, it was even more to have them fix everything that Roto-Rooter destroyed because of those pipes, rather than saying, hey, we can find you somebody that does a sewer scope and kind of go from there, because that's why inspections are so important as well. You really should should take the time for inspections. And any good realtor is going to tell you to inspect. And any good realtor is going to have a disclosure form for that buyer to sign when they don't want inspections performed, because that's a huge red flag to me. If you're buying a house and you don't want to get an inspection done, that's a big red flag to me. It shouldn't be done. As a matter of fact, I might not just have you write the disclosure. I might just tell you to have a good day and find yourself another realtor.
Yeah, if you're trying to save a few $100 on an inspection, then you're probably not in a position to be buying a house anyways. So
that's another thing too. Richard's coming up with the key things, because these are the small things, right? Some people say, "Oh my gosh, I have to pay $500-$600 for this inspection," and they depend on the lot size, the size of the property, and things of that nature. But $450 to $650 is about your average general inspection. Most companies now include a 4-point and a wind mitigation along with that, so you can give to your insurance company. But a very, very good point in reference to that, So that's what we're going to be really helping you with in reference to buying, selling. Get you a realtor. Even like Rich said, even if it's not us as a realtor, go get you a realtor and your agent. I've worked all over Central Florida. It's really for those relationships that we've built, right? Like, we've helped families relocate from Odessa to Melbourne Beach and, Cocoa Beach. We've done a couple transactions in the Fort Lauderdale area, but not much down there. I mainly work Pasco, Hillsborough, Pinellas, although if I can try to avoid crossing the bridge, I do. I will every once in a while cross that bridge to go watch the Rays. So Rays up.
Tarpon Springs, Palm Harbor, Spring Hill, so all those places. Yeah,
so Rich does the northern areas, a lot of newer construction. If you're looking in that area, please give them out. Rich, you want to tell them your phone number and email address?
Absolutely. It's 813-965-6465. The email address is richard@theteambrightman.com. And I hope to hear from you. Also, if you're in foreclosure, if someone, if your mom passed away or whatever the situation, if it's something that's out of the ordinary, I got a lot of experience in that. Please give me a call. If there's a way to help you out, I'll figure it out for you. So,
well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. This is a little announcement of what we're going to be doing here on the 1st and 15th of every month. If we pick up some steam, we may throw another show in there, or maybe an update in between the 2 weeks. But we just wanted to make this announcement. So this is Christopher Freyre with Florida Real Estate Agency signing off. This has been our guest and good friend, Richard Brightman. And we'll see y'all later.